So as I mentioned, we had the very basic things to be starting with. First thing which I want to cover is what all options we can see in an Excel page when you open. So I'll open just a blank Excel. And when I open a blank Excel, this is how you see the new Excel sheet whenever you open it. So what all options you can see? You can see the toolbar, which contains all the options like file, home, insert, page layout, formulas, data, review, view, automate, help, and few add-ons will be there. If you are working in some organizations, you might see some add-ons. Till here it's the standard thing, and after that whatever you're seeing, it's an organizational add-ons or your individual add-ons. So Microsoft support a lot of add-ons. It depends, like you need an access for that. Once you have the access, you can keep adding these add-ons. So we'll start with file, and in the file you can see all these options, which is like whenever you want to create a new Excel, you can just click on this new blank workbook and it will open. If you want to open an existing worksheet, you can just click on this one and you can choose the workbook which you want to open. Simple shortcut is Control O. For new worksheet, it's Control N. And similarly, get add-ins. These are the add-ins which I'm referring. If you want to add any new things, for example, Microsoft Visio or Wikipedia or any other things, there is a lot of things which supports Excel. So if you want to add any particular add-ons, you can just click on add. It's all like organizational dependent or the license which you are holding it. So based on that, you will be able to add it. And we have the info, which will have the information of the current workbook which you're opening. So here it will give an option to protect the workbook. If you want to encrypt particular data or particular sheet or the entire workbook, or you want to open it as a read-only mode, you have the option to control this particular workbook from being misused or anything. For example, it's audited FS. You don't want to edit it after 31st of December or some cutoff date. So in that case, you can just encrypt with password and you can keep the password safely. So no one will be able to edit it without your permission. And you have the options like add a digital signature, marking the version as a final one, restricting access. All these options are available in this. And in case of any issues with the document, like sometimes the file might be corrupted or something, and you can check whether the file is accessible or compatibility issues are there or not. You can check from here. And in case of version history, like it's linked to OneDrive. If your system is linked to OneDrive and if you have the file saved over there, you can see the version history. When was the last change done and who has done that, what time have they ever done. All these things you can do using the version history if you're connected to OneDrive. If not, you won't be able to. And if there is any unrecovered changes and any unsaved workbooks, you can use these options to update that. And in the right side, you can see the properties. If you want to add any, because this file is just created, right? I'll just show the old one. Here it will show what is the size of the file when modified it, who is the author, who is the modifier, and what is the location. All these things will be shown. Like here also it will show the location of the file where this particular file is saved. If you want, just double tap on that or just copy path, copy local path. This difference between both is this will be the OneDrive, it will support OneDrive, and this will be the system path. So that's the only difference. And if you want to just open the location instead of copying, you can just click on that and it will automatically open the file location in the browser like this. And similarly, we have the option to save, which is just a save. To save any unsaved things, you can just click on save. Control S is the shortcut. And save as, it will give you the options again. How you want to save this particular file. You can see the lot of options available again. The basic version, whenever you open a blank Excel, it will be Excel workbook, which is Excel SX. The format of the file should be just like our photos and videos like JPG, MP4. Similarly, Excel is also having a format Excel SX. This is the basic thing. And if you have any macros in your particular workbook, then you have to choose macro enabled. If not, the macros won't be running in your workbook. If you save like Excel or Excel binary, macros won't run. You have to save it as macro enabled workbook. And the next option is Excel binary workbook. In this binary workbook, what will happen is, for example, if the file is like 100 MB or 200 MB, and it's not opening faster, or it's like very slow to open, run everything. In that cases, you can open this binary workbook, and this will comparatively reduce the size. The reason why it will reduce the size is the way Excel saves the data in its storage, like in the server of Microsoft, how it will show it differs. In Excel workbook, it will store the file as it is, but in binary, it will convert the Excel data into binary format and then it will save. So that's why the storage capacity will be very small in binary, and the file also runs faster. And similarly, we have 97 to 2003 workbook, which is the older version of the current MS Office. Earlier, we had in MS 2003 and all. This is the standard version. Now it's not the standard, but sometimes you will see workbooks which is still using that. So in that case, I'll suggest to change to Excel workbook or binary workbook. That will work faster. And the next option we have is CSV. CSV is like uh, a format which is supported by many tools. For example, if you're downloading a report from some ERP like SAP or Oracle, then the standard format might be CSV, because the system supports only CSV, which is the comma separated file. So this works only for a single sheet. If you have a CSV file with multiple sheets, the moment you save it, only the first sheet will be saved. Rest all will be automatically deleted. So whenever you are saving a CSV format, just make sure that. And these are all like various options available. I'm not going in detail for all of them. It's like advanced things like web page or Excel templates. All these things are there. So depending on the usage, you can just see. And you can just browse where you want to save the workbook. If you want to change the path of the workbook link, you can just browse and you can update it. And if you want to save as PDF, you can do that. Print option is there. Shortcut again is Control P. And you have all the options like any other PDF or Excel or Word. You have all the options: printing, active sheets, entire workbook, or margins, scaling. All these things you have, and this way you can share it with the people easily. If you're an organization, you can just click on email and it will automatically take you to the email. You just need to draft the mail and send it. And we have the option to export again. Export, say, for example, if you are trying to print it to PDF, you can try this export option and create PDF also. This way also it works. And if you want to close the workbook, you can just click on close. And here you can see the basic things for account, MS Office account, whatever you are using, it will show the basic details. And here you have the options. For example, whenever you're opening in Excel, you will see the theme and font, all these things, right? You can choose the theme and font by default. If you open a standard workbook, it will be somewhere like Arial. But I choose it, Times New Roman is my standard theme, and my standard font size will be 11. That's why whenever I open any new workbook, I'll be getting this as basic default. If you want to change anything, you can update here. And similarly, you can collapse the ribbon automatically, like this ribbon. If you want to collapse it automatically, you can choose. Or like many options are available. You can just go through this, and username, if you want to update, you can update. And formulas, if you how you want to see the formulas, R1 C1 style referring. For example, here you are seeing B2. B2 means column name is B, row number is 2. If you want to see in different format, you can just click on this R1 C1 and it will say row 2 column 1, like that it will show. And get pivot data functions for pivot table, automatically give you the options of pivot table. Whenever you are seeing pivot table in the next episodes, I'll be covering those things. And we have like many options which will be needed if you are trying to do editing the options available, like whatever options you have. If you want to edit those, these things will be needed. And this is the customized ribbon. In the current ribbon, whatever I'm seeing is the customized one. But if you want to change it, for example, I don't want a clipboard, I can just click here and remove it. Or all whatever is seeing in this clipboard, it will be automatically removed if I do that. Similarly, if I want to add something, for example, this decrease font size, if you want to add it, whatever options are available, I can just choose and I can add it. Wherever you want to add new tab or new group, if you want to create, you can do that. This will help you because sometimes you are using something very regularly, but that option is not available in any of these. So in that case, you can just select the option and you can just add it to your tabs, or you can just create a new tab and just like automate help, you can add one more tab, which you say my own tab kind of refresh all, repeat, whatever is like your uh, frequently used commands or anything, you can use that. Yeah, you have a lot of options to choose from. So all these options you have, you just need to see whichever is relevant for you, and you can just add it to your tabs. Where if you feel like you can add it under home tab, or you can create a separate favorites, you can do that. Anyway, it will work. So I think that's it for the options available. If I'm going too fast or too slow, just let me know so I can adjust accordingly and I'll update. And next option which we're going to discuss will be what are the naming structure which we're going to refer in Excel. So whenever you see a blank Excel, you will see a lot of text, right? Like what name you have to refer for each thing. The top option which you are seeing, this ribbon bar, this is the toolbar. These two, like file and the line below that, these two are the toolbars. This will enable you do most of the works in Excel. This is like the tool for our work. That's why we are calling it as toolbar. And each cell will have a naming. Wherever you keep, you will see a name appearing over here, D8, E5. This is a combination of the row and column. So in this combination, you will be naming a cell. If you want to change that naming, you can just select, for example, this particular area I want to name, or maybe this particular area I want to name. I'll just name instructions. And if I keep it, if I select this range again, I'll be seeing the name instructions. Or if you want to search instructions, I will be able just put equal to, and you can just select instructions, and it will take you to that naming wherever you kept it. It will automatically connect to that. So in this way, you can use the naming structure. And we have the formula bar, which will give you the, whenever you have a formula, for example, this is a formula, and you can see the what formula you have used, or you can see using this. And these are all A, B, C, D. This is the columns which you are seeing, and 1, 2, 3 will be the rows. And you have the navigation buttons at the bottom. If you want to move between sheets, you can see this navigation button. If you just right click, it will show all the sheets available in this particular workbook. And we have multiple sheets. Usually when a new Excel is created, it will be like 3 sheets. For example, in the Excel which I created, it's only one sheet. So sometimes you will see 3 sheets, or sometimes you will see one sheet. If you want to just add sheets, you can just click on this plus button and it will keep adding the sheets. And if you want to rename, just double tap or right click and rename. If you want insert or delete, you have the options. If you want to hide or unhide, you have the options. If you want to select all the sheets available, you can select. And tab coloring you can give based on, if you want to group sheets based on some logic or something, you can give tab coloring based on that. And you can just move or copy between one Excel to another Excel, any sheets. For example, this sheet I want to copy from here to the new workbook which I created. Copy. I just need to select which workbook. Book 12 is the new thing which I created, or you can just create a new book also. Any existing books or new book. So I'm just selecting here. I'm just creating a copy because I don't want to move it. I just want to copy it. Create a copy, and it's appearing over here in the new workbook, book 12. It's already coming over. I don't need to do reworking it. I just copy paste the entire sheet. The advantage of this copying thing is if you copy only the data, the formatting, all these things will be keep on changing. But if you copy the entire sheet, every formatting will remain as is. You don't need to work on formatting again. So that's the advantage. And the next thing, this is the wherever you are seeing this F3, we call it as a cell, and the entire thing we call it as a worksheet. So these are the common naming structures which we use. And then we have the syntax for the formula. In Excel, the basic thing is a formula. You need everything you do, it's mostly depending on the formulas. So you need to understand the syntax of the formula. So when I say syntax, this is what we call as syntax. At the bottom, you can see, right? Sum if else, sum range, criteria. You're able to see this below bracket or not? Because sometimes while sharing, this will be not shared properly. So if you're able to
No,
see,
it's clear.
okay.
Yeah.
So whenever you start any formula, it will be starting with either equal to, plus, or minus. You can use any of these things to start a formula. And the moment you start a formula, you have to start it with a bracket. So this is the formula I want to start, sum if s, and I have to start it with a bracket. And once I start a bracket, I have the options. First parameter in the syntax is sum range. So it is saying what sum range you want to calculate this for this particular formula. So I have chosen AH5 to AH7 for calculating. Next thing is criteria. What is the criteria based on which you want to calculate this sum? So this is my criteria range. When I say range, it's a group of cells or array of cells. And criteria one is a single cell. So here I have the example. So I'm saying this is the sum range. And in this, if I have one, which is my criteria, AG5, add it. And in this, if I have a, add it. Similarly, this is the second criteria I have, and this is the second criteria condition. This is the third criteria, and this is the condition for that. So each criteria, if it is meeting, I'm saying add it. So this is the syntax. Any formula you go, this is the syntax. And whatever you're seeing in the square brackets. So in the beginning, you don't see the square bracket, but here onwards, you're seeing the square brackets, right? So whenever you're seeing a square bracket, it's an optional field in Excel. It's not a mandatory. Even if you don't give that, the formula will still work and you will get the output. But for example, here, first one or second one or third one, you don't have a square bracket, right? If you don't give this particular data, your formula won't work. It will say there is an error. So always make sure that if it is having no square bracket, you have to give it mandatorily. If it is having square bracket, it's an optional field. Okay. And the next option which we have is evaluate formula option. So whatever formula you're running, it looks like fine for you. But the moment you run, you are not getting the output. You don't know where the exact error is. In that case, there is an option which will help you finding out where the error is. So in the formula section, you have this evaluate formula. So if I click on this evaluate formula, a pop-up will come like this and it will show the formula. So just click on evaluate. It has run one step at a time. So earlier it is AG5. Now that AG5 has turned out to 1, which is the input I have given. So AG5 is equal to 1. And next option, this AG6 is equal to A and AG7 is equal to B. So whatever conditions I'm giving, I can double check whether what I intended and what Excel is picking is correct or not, is same or not. I can check using this evaluate option. So after, I mean, this formula might not be the exact thing, but if you have a long formula, you can evaluate at each step and you can see whether the intended output you are thinking is exactly coming or not. And you can see this effects, right? This is one thing which will help you to understand a formula. So for example, you want to design a new formula, but you don't know how. The sum if s, I have said sum range means what does it mean by sum range? You don't know. So you can just click on this fx, and here the moment you click on sum if, the pop-up window will appear and it will explain you each thing. Sum range means these are the actual cells to sum. Criteria range, it is the range of cells you want to evaluate for the particular condition. Criteria is the condition or criteria in the form of a number, expression, or text that define which cell will be added. So each thing it will explain you. What does that mean when it says sum range or criteria range? So it's like a easy English thing, so you can understand, and it will be a bit more explanatory instead of saying that sum range. So if you are trying to design a new formula, you can easily understand what they're trying to achieve using this fx formula. So these things will be like very helpful whenever you are working on this Excel. And next thing will be shortcut keys. Just like when we are starting a new language, you'll be learning alphabets, right? In Excel also we have alphabets which start like Control A, Control B, Control C. For each thing you have a shortcut key. Control A, select all. If I click Control A, it will select the entire range. Control B, bold. Control C, copy. Control D, fill down. Control E, flash fill. This is a very new option in Excel. It's not there maybe 3-4 years back. It started maybe 2-3 years ago, as far as I know. And Control F, find. Control G, go to. Control H, replace. Like each thing you have a shortcut key. So knowing these things will help you, and it, as far as I know, it will make your life easy. And if you ask me like Excel shortcuts, even if I give 100 pages book, it will be like still many things are pending. So I can go and give everything, but I can guide you how to know the shortcut. Just click on Alt. When you click on Alt, it will show the alphabets for each option, right? So for example, home means H. Just click on H and it will show all the options available again. And for example, I want to color this. So I'll click on FC. FC is the color to font color, right? By default, it's selected as red, so it'll come as red. Now I have options again. Maybe I can just choose green. Okay, so whatever I write, it'll come as green. I don't know the shortcut, but I just navigated through Alt, H, and FC. If you want something like dollar or percentage symbol, just P. Since it's a text, it won't work, but I'm just saying how to get a formula. Sorry, shortcut. For example, you want to go to data, Alt A, and you want to get a pivot. Just click on PN, or you want to create some sorting or anything. You can see the options available. So you don't need to memorize everything. You can just use Excel to get this work done. And with this, our 40 minutes seems like ended. So can you please rejoin and we can continue from there?
Sure.
Thank you.